Should LeBron consider signing with the Knicks in free agency? Is that what I'm missing, or is that
no?
what I'm picking up from that post?
It's a non-starter because of the mismanagement of the cap when Phil Jackson was there.
That.
I mean, they gave Joakim Noah $72 million after Phil Jackson left. They, for some reason, gave Tim Hardaway Jr. $71 million. They also LeBron obviously thought they could have gotten a better player in the draft than the guy I'm going to call Frankie Nicotine and Dennis Smith Jr. So I do think part of LeBron's bitterness towards the Knicks is that, you know, there is a world that exists where if I were to leave the Cavs, that me, Wade, Melo, and CP3 all could have gone to New York. Like, that was open to them. Once they traded away Derrick Rose last offseason, they were going to have the cap space after this year to do that. They mismanaged that. But what I think this is really about, CC, is I think LeBron, much like myself, hates false narratives. And the false narrative that the ghost that LeBron is chasing, Michael Jordan, that he was some superstar in New York, that LeBron hasn't been able to match up to, it's just totally factually inaccurate. And I'm just going to lay out a few numbers, and then I'll shut up about it while you laugh with your coffee.
Yeah, you're not going to shut up about it. I mean, you're going to stop talking, then I'm going to talk, then eventually you'll pick back up.
Okay, that's probably more accurate.
I might jump in there. So
Jordan at MSG had a losing playoff record. He had, compared to his career averages, a worse field goal percentage, fewer rebounds per game, fewer assists per game, 3 less points per game, 5% worse from the field per game. Comparatively, LeBron at MSG averages more points per game than his career average and has the 4th highest winning percentage of any visiting player ever. Jordan was 45th on that list. So part of this Jordan lore is he was so good against the Knicks, especially in the playoffs. In the playoffs, Jordan at MSG was 5-7. So, like, LeBron sees that and then sees what he did last night, or night before last, and there is, I think, some real, wait, what about the facts here, guys? And so I don't know what about that you found so funny, but I'm very curious to hear.
It's amazing how you and LeBron are thinking the same, and you're chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan.
Well, he said he was chasing the ghost.
Yeah, and you're chasing him with them because you're chasing LeBron. So you're chasing the ghost too, all right? The Knicks teams then, those were great matchups. Those are great series. Those are good games. The NBA was at a different time. The physicality of the game was totally different. This really has nothing to do about nothing, all right? Michael Jordan's got 6 rings. Chase that, all right? That's the number one stat. Chase that down, all right? 6 and 0. 6 MVPs, 6 championships. That's the number, all right? There is no more important number than that one.
Can I ask you something? If the numbers are so imbalanced as you seem to think they are, why is Michael Jordan, do you think, placed on such a pedestal here in New York, all over the place? Tell me why. Because we're not in the business. American society is not in the business of just handing people credit for no reason.
Oh, well, I think that's a couple reasons. One is the one Chris mentioned, which is a totally fair one.
The championships. But let's talk about New York.
Not only the championships, but the fact that he never lost in the finals. Like, that is an enormous part of it, and that he was the MVP of all those finals and was extraordinary in every single one of those series. Like, you've never heard me say anything bad about how Michael Jordan played in those NBA finals. In regards to the New York part of it, it is part of the same reason that Reggie Miller is considered this. I mean, he's an NBA Hall of Famer, despite never playing it like one, because he had some epic battles in New York City.
So Reggie is not a Hall of Famer, but Dwight Howard is?
Okay, well, like, this is...
No, because you said that. You said that on this show. Dwight Howard was a Hall of Famer.
Dwight Howard has 4 different top 5 MVP finishes. Dwight Howard, I think, is a 10-time All-Star. Reggie Miller's a 2-time All-Star. Dwight Howard's a 6-time first-team All-NBA guy. Reggie Miller was 0-time first or second All-Team NBA. But Reggie Miller threw up the choke sign at Spike Lee and had epic games in Madison Square Garden. Jordan had epic battles with the Knicks. And that's the number one media market. That was the Knicks with Pat Riley. He also, when he came back from retirement, had the 55-point game. So we forget that in the middle of Jordan's prime, over consecutive years, he lost 4 straight playoff games in New York.
To a good team.
I understand they were a good team. And the Knicks haven't been trashed the whole time LeBron's been in the league. They had a 50-win team with Melo that LeBron...
They had one.
They had one 50-win team with Melo.
Right.
Yep.
In 15 years, LeBron's been in the East. They've had maybe 2 competent teams. 2 in 15 years.
Oh, fair enough. Like, Are you not surprised, CC, when I tell you that Jordan versus his average at Madison Square Garden, it's Jordan, the average Jordan game was better than the...
No, because I wasn't talking about the numbers. I was talking to you about the effort. You got caught in the numbers. Mm-hmm. I was showing the effort when Michael Jordan came there. He put on a concerted effort to try to play
More
hard
than one quarter?
and play great. Okay?
The whole game?
That's what I was talking to you about. Your only argument was the numbers, was the average. I was talking to you about the effort. The first 3 quarters of that game that I watched was not like Michael Jordan. That's what I told you. And you told me, oh, the preparation for an NFL season is totally different.
No, hold on.
I just don't believe in playing basketball that way.
The argument we were having at the game was you made the point, you were like, Michael Jordan, even if he didn't have a shot, he'd go down shooting essentially. Go 7 for 30 if he had to, right?
Yes.
And maybe this is just a difference of aesthetics. I do not respect the guy who doesn't have it and says, but I'm going to show the world that I'm going to go down gunning.
You don't respect him. He's the best basketball player ever.
No. I'm not saying I don't respect Michael Jordan.
You know when the next shot's going in, Nick? The one I shoot.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Right. And
Did you remember the Michael Jordan commercial? He talked about all the shots that he missed, but he had the courage to take those. Michael was playing to his character. That's his game. LeBron should play his game. But the number one thing that we control as athletes, we control our effort. We do. Not the environment, not the arena, not the opposition. That was my displeasure at the game.
Also, fans don't want to hear that he's conserving his energy for the rest of the season, that he's going to take a couple quarters off so he could have to pour in, have as many points he pours in the fourth quarter to overcome a 23-point deficit.
LeBron, who's played more minutes and more games than anyone each of the last 7 years, he's depriving the fans of the ability. I think it's a really interesting point. That LeBron, that LeBron is not a guy that gives his all out. I don't even know what we're talking about at this point, but it's fine.
It's the same thing we were talking about at the end of the third quarter.
Right,
when your face was down when your chin.
But if that's how you're going to judge Michael Jordan.
When your chin was down below your flower.
Okay, all right. I don't know what your chin was below, because that's just weird.
It was
so
long
many
face.
Levels. Long face.
Why such a long face, Nick?
Why long? Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.